The quiet evening was disrupted by the knock on the door, which sent chills down my spine. When I opened it, my sister and husband were standing there with determined looks on their faces. I had no idea that their arrival would signal the start of a turbulent journey that would test the foundation of our family. 3 arduous years had passed since my spouse, Emma, had left without a word. I was shocked by her abrupt departure and was trying to figure out why she had decided to end our relationship. At the time, our son Ethan was only a toddler and couldn't really understand why his mother wasn't there. Following Emma's exit, my sister Sarah filled the vacuum in her absence. She provided consolation and stability when my world seemed to be falling apart, acting as a pillar of support during those trying times. We supported one another through the challenges of being a single parent, finding comfort in one another's company. However, when the days stretched into weeks and the weeks into months, Emma's absence started to take on a life of its own. I used the void she left behind in my life to divert my attention from my career as a YouTube content maker. And during it all, Sarah was at my side. Her steadfast devotion was a ray of hope in the depths of despair. I was so unprepared for the roller coaster of emotions that ensued when the knock occurred that fateful evening. Emma and Sarah stood in front of me, their determination visible on their features as they gave me their order. Emma said, "We're taking custody of Ethan," in a tone that was icy and devoid of the friendliness I remembered. I was stunned, finding it difficult to comprehend the seriousness of what she had said. After 3 years, how could she waltz back into our lives and claim our son? And why did Sarah, my confidant and sister, appear to be involved in her intentions while standing by her side? I had a surge of panic as the situation's reality set in. Ignoring the tension in the air, Ethan played carelessly in the adjacent room, ignorant to the approaching storm outside. Emma's steely resolve sent shivers down my spine as I looked for any trace of the lady I once loved in her eyes. Our relationship had lost its warmth and sensitivity and was now characterized by a detached vibe that left me feeling lost. I recognized with a heavy heart that there would be a lot of grief and uncertainty along the way as the custody struggle was just getting started. But I promised to fight tooth and nail to shield Ethan from the impending storm as long as he stayed at the center of it all. So, with Emma's words still echoing in my mind, I prepared myself for the turbulent path that lied ahead and held fast to the belief that love would ultimately triumph over hardship. In the days that followed, our family's conflicts came to a head. When legal action was taken, I was forced to face a past I had made a great effort to forget. The YouTube channel that had been a creative outlet for me became into a record of the emotional roller coaster my life had become as the custody dispute developed. I started sharing my anguish through videos of my court appearances, emotional breakdowns, and sincere pleas to the online community, finding comfort in the virtual support of others who understood my plight. Viewers shared their personal tales of perseverance in the face of hardship and offered words of encouragement in the comment section, which quickly evolved into a support group. Emma and Sarah, however, put up a united front. Their legal team argued for shared custody, pointing to Emma's wish to be involved in Ethan's life after comprehending the consequences of her decision 3 years earlier. I couldn't get rid of the impression that Sarah, my once trusted confidant, had broken our relationship. The fact that she was loyal to Emma made me doubt the sincerity of our sisterhood. Emotions were running high in the courtroom and online as the proceedings got more intense. Viewers' hearts were captured by the tale of a broken family struggling for the love of a kid, which elevated our own struggle to the status of a widely viewed drama. Although it was uncomfortable to watch strangers behind screens examine and critique our personal suffering, the tremendous support we received from the internet community turned into a source of strength. Trapped in the crossfire, Ethan came to represent innocence in the struggle for his future. In the backdrop of my videos, his laughs and giggles served as a devastating reminder of what was at risk. I felt like the whole thing was pressing down on me, and there were times when I wondered if the public show was worth the damage it was doing to my mental and emotional health. However, amidst the confusion, I discovered unanticipated allies in the form of child psychiatrists, legal professionals, and even other content creators who had experienced same difficulties. They provided support, connections, and a feeling of unity that went beyond the digital divide. My story became a testament to the strength that could be discovered in vulnerability, and the online community became a lifeline. I saw that Emma's behavior in the courtroom started to change as the case progressed. A fracture in the determined facade allowed me to see glimmers of the woman I knew. Her face was marked with lines from the previous 3 years, and she could feel the weight of her choice. One day, Emma surprised me by approaching me outside the courtroom. Her once cold, aloof eyes now held a softness that paralleled mine. She blurted out a confession, an honest acknowledgement of her mistakes and the suffering her absence had caused. She said in a sorrowful tone, "I didn't realize what I was giving up until it was too late. I want a chance to make it right, not just for me, but for Ethan too." It was a turning point where the distinction between co-parent and enemy became hazy. The realization made me face my own battling feelings of hurt and rage along with a wish to see forgiveness and healing. The legal disputes persisted, although there was a slight change in the dynamics. Severe disputes were replaced with mediation sessions, and a provisional agreement started to take shape. After we were on different sides of the conflict, Emma and I began discussing the prospect of co-parenting, not only for reasons of legal convenience but also for Ethan's welfare. The road to mending our broken family was far from over, and the future held many unknowns. But there was a ray of optimism that showed through the storm. The story that started with a knock on the door had developed into one of resiliency, forgiving others, and the unwavering power of love. Against all odds, it had the capacity to change the course of a family's tragically divided destiny. The narrative of our family unfolded in the courtroom and on my YouTube channel, while the legal proceedings dragged on. The internet world, now deeply engrossed in our story, saw us go from being enemies to co-parents. As the story of hope and redemption developed, viewers found comfort in sharing their experiences in the comments section, which evolved into a forum for ideas as well. The mediation sessions mandated by the court were difficult. They made Emma and I face the wounds from our history and walk carefully toward restoring our trust. In his naive way, Ethan acted as a link between us. His jokes and laughing served as a constant reminder that in spite of everything going on, a child's need for security and affection never went away. Sarah had to come to terms with herself as well during this process. She felt burdened by her conflicting allegiances, and our once unquestionable relationship experienced a significant metamorphosis. An honest talk with her revealed the internal conflict she had experienced, divided between her loyalty to her family and her awareness of the suffering her actions had caused. In order for me to heal, I had to deal with the wounds in our extended family, as well as the strained relationships between Emma, Ethan, and myself. The pivotal moment occurred during a family therapy session ordered by the court. As a kind mediator throughout the chaos, the therapist led conversations that revealed the causes of our disagreements and gave us a forum for candid dialogue. These sessions were the catalyst for the layers of anger to start coming off and exposing the vulnerability underneath. It caused Emma, Sarah, and me to face hard realities about one another and ourselves. The therapeutic sessions evolved into a furnace for psychological recovery, creating a climate conducive to understanding and forgiving. A shared resolve to mend what had been destroyed was sparked by the disclosure of resentment, deep-seated anguish, and a desire for atonement. Even though the case is still pending, the tone of the litigation has changed. It shifted from being about winning or losing to being about working together to find a solution that put Ethan's welfare first. There was a joint custody agreement that recognized both parents' contributions to Ethan's upbringing. From being a place where I shared my own hardships at first, the YouTube channel has evolved into a source of hope for people facing comparable obstacles. The audience saw how a broken family came to understand the challenges of co-parenting. Supporting messages for me and other families going through their own struggles with grief and healing were pouring in. A new narrative about growth, resiliency, and the transformational power of love surfaced in the midst of the chaos. Once characterized by anguish and separation, our story has evolved into a celebration of the human spirit's enduring resilience and ability to adapt. A joint custody agreement that delineated the rights and obligations of both parents was negotiated when the court fights ultimately came to an end. The judge expressed hope that our family may move forward with greater understanding and unity, noting the efforts made towards healing. Even though the voyage had been turbulent, it had strengthened our relationship beyond the past. We were a family now, negotiating the intricacies of life as a unit, not just parents. Though unknown, the future had the promise of a shared commitment to Ethan's happiness and well-being, and the scars of the past served as a reminder of the challenges faced. The YouTube channel continued to chronicle our family's journey, but it now served as a forum for imparting knowledge, encouraging empathy, and giving those who were struggling with co-parenting hope. What had started out as a tragic tale had evolved into a celebration of the human spirit's tenacity, love, and forgiveness. Our family found a new routine in the months that followed, one characterized by cooperation and shared duties. Even though Emma and I were once at odds, we collaborated to give Ethan a secure and supportive atmosphere. The wounds from the past began to heal as we concentrated on creating a future where our son's pleasure was our first priority. Because of the shared custody agreement, Ethan was able to spend valuable time with his parents, which helped to establish continuity and a sense of connection in his early life. Together, they coordinated schedules and made choices, highlighting the significance of unity in childrearing. After years of serving as a log of suffering and hardship, our YouTube channel transformed into a haven of encouragement for those attempting to manage the challenges presented by mixed families. Viewers watched a family's dedication to recovery and development in addition to the turmoil surrounding the custody dispute. The common area developed into a helpful community where people exchanged triumphant stories over adversity and offered support to those going through comparable struggles. Making special moments for Ethan became our main priority, while the court cases took a backseat. Together, they celebrated milestones, holidays, and birthdays, forging a bond that transcended the confines of a conventional family. The affection and security he got from his parents served as the cornerstone for how he would conceptualize family. The encounter also profoundly altered Emma and Sarah's relationship, which was an unanticipated turn of events. Their renewed sisterly friendship was sparked by their common dedication to Ethan's welfare. Although wounds persisted, a new chapter might begin because of the acceptance of one's own mistakes and the shared desire for atonement. There were no big disclosures or sweeping gestures to signify the end of our story. Rather, it was discovered in the routinely occurring moments of giggles, mutual duties, and the slow restoration of confidence. Our family's tenacity served as evidence of the healing potential of forgiveness, the capacity to move past regrets, and the unwavering force of love. The YouTube channel kept developing, with a focus on constructive co-parenting techniques, advice for blended families, and sincere thoughts on the path we had traveled. Once captivated by the drama of our hardships, our audience now found inspiration in our shared dedication to development and comprehension. Over time, Ethan developed into a self-assured and well-adjusted young man. The difficulties of the past faded into memory and was replaced with a common past that widened our relationship. The modest tale that started with a knock on the door has grown to be a ray of hope for families juggling the difficulties of being apart and coming together. Through our family's experience, we have learned that healing is an ongoing process that requires constant communication and little wins. It also served as further evidence that love has the capacity to restore what has been damaged and weave a resilient and redemptive tale, even in the face of the most trying situations. As a result, as we went through life together, the tale that emerged was not that of a flawless family, but rather of flawed people coming to understand one another, maturing, and deciding to put love above resentment. The ending marked a new chapter, marked by harmony, forgiveness, and the steadfast conviction that, in the end, love would always find a way. It was not an end, but rather a beginning.